Hello friends, welcome back to today's class. So in the previous class we have started with the discussion of your flash memory. We have discussed n number of things with respect to flash memory, and the first concept we covered in the previous class with respect to flash memory was flash cell. We saw how the flash cell is being designed. We also saw what was the special transistor which is being used in order to make a flash cell and how this is created. So if you remember, the flash cell has a different type of transistor with a dielectric material in between, so using which the whole flash memory is designed. So apart from this, we also saw a number of various important things with respect to flash memory, like how it is different from your EEPROM and how it is very much useful whenever you want to use battery operated devices. So all these things have been seen in the previous classes, and we have also seen that using various architectures flash memory could be designed, and there are n number of companies as well in order to design this flash memory. So to name a few, it could be your Samsung and so on. Okay, so today, moving ahead, we'll go ahead with the next very important subclass of your flash memory, which we call it as flash cards. Okay, so what are these flash cards now? Flash cards are nothing but the small chips which could be of some standard interface. That means they usually have a standard interface and they are plugged into slots. Okay, so these are nothing but flash cards. All of us have used these flash cards, and the memory size is somewhere around, it ranges from 8 megabytes, 32 megabytes and 64 megabytes. And these are very portable drives which could be used in n number of things. And going ahead to give an example of how much data they are accumulating, you can say, for example, 1 minute of music can be stored somewhere in around 1 MB of memory, provided it's an MP3 format. That means if you have a song which is of 1 minute, then it would take somewhere around 1 MB of memory, but it should be in .mp3 format. That is, the storage format must be in the form of .mp3. So this is all regarding your flash cards. Going to next very important thing, which is flash drives. Okay, so flash drives were basically designed to mimic your hard disks. So they are basically designed so that we would do the functions of the hard disks using your flash drives. So these are solid state electronic devices, and one major thing which differs from hard drives is there are no movable parts in it. In your flash drives there are no movable parts, and you can just say that all your flash drives are wear and tear free. There is no wear and tear available in your flash drives. But when we compare it with your hard disk, all your hard disks has wear and tear. Why? Because they have movable parts. Okay, now next very important thing is they have a faster response, faster response and very insensitive to vibrations. That means if you want to store anything, when you compare the speed of a hard disk with your flash drive, so storage in a flash drive would be very speed as compared with your hard drives. So that is the major thing. And but one thing is the storage capacity is GB, which is less than that of a hard disk. That means in your hard disk we can store somewhere around at the amount of terabytes, that is TB. But when you speak of flash drives, it is of the amount of GB, that is gigabytes. Okay, so one more major thing is flash have higher cost per bit. That means the amount of manufacturing cost, whatever is the manufacturing cost, that would go on increasing. Okay, so there may be deteriorations of the memory after a large number of write operations. This is another very major thing which we need to keep in mind. If we go on doing read and write n number of times, then the cells might get damaged. Whatever the cells are there inside your flash drives, those may get damaged. So this is one disadvantage when we compare it with your hard disk. But when you speak of disadvantages, there will be always advantages as well. One major advantage is it is lightweight, very easy to carry, and it is non-volatile. This is one of the major thing when we speak of your flash drives. It is non-volatile. That means it gets stored even when we switch on or switch off the system. So that is the major reason why it has been used in most of your electronic gadgets. To name a few electronic gadgets, it could be your cameras, smartphones, or printers, or any of the embedded controllers in general. Okay, so that means by now you might have understood what I am speaking of. What are these flash cards by now? So you can just give a pause and give a thought to it. I was speaking of your SD cards. Till now I was speaking of your SD cards. So SD cards are nothing but your flash drives. So the flash drives and SD cards both are same. Okay friends, so remember this thing, flash drives. In exam either they may ask you explain the functionality of flash drives, or they may ask you explain the functionality of SD cards. One and the same, any one thing is same. Okay, now these SD cards are available in n number of variants, like it could be a mini SD card, micro SD card, or it could be a memory stick, and so on. Similarly, it could be also a USB. It could be also a USB, right? And not only USB, it could be also a SDHC, and it could also be a SDXC. Okay, so it could be all these as well possible, no doubt. So this is one of the major things. Okay, and to name a few vendors, I think so no need of naming a few vendors, you already know it. It could be your SanDisk, the famous SanDisk. It could be your Kingston, it could be your HP, and so on, so on. Okay, and to give you the range of memory sizes, this also you know already. They range from somewhere around 2 GB to up till 128 GB. Okay, so this is how your whole flash has been organized. So if you remember from the previous class, we started with the flash cell, we came to your flash cards, then finally we arrived to your flash drives. So if they ask anything regarding your flash memory, then you need to write all these things. You should start from flash cell, you should go to flash cards, reach flash drives, and finally end your explanation. Okay friends, so I hope this is clear. Now let us move to the next thing. Now one major thing when we speak of any of the memories is these things, that is speed, size, and cost. You can see here speed, size, and cost. These matters a lot. Okay, so any company which is into the business of this memory management, the major challenge which it has to undergo is to overcome these three trade-offs. That means if I have speed, I will not be having size. That means speed will be there, but the cost will be high. If I have speed and cost, then the size will be more, something like that. If the cost is less, then the speed will be less. If the cost is more, then the speed also will be more. Yeah, I hope you are understanding. Okay, that means these are acting like a trade-off. What is the ideal solution? What is the ideal thing we want? We want higher speed, lesser size, and lesser cost, right? So speed must be around some more amount of GBs or TBs. Size must be compatible. It should be portable. It should be easily carryable. Cost, it must be minimum. So this is the basic requirement of our memory, right? So any memory, the biggest challenge in the design of your computer system is to provide a sufficiently large memory with a reasonable speed at an affordable cost. You can see here, this is what I was trying to tell you. So we want a large memory with a reasonable speed at an affordable cost. Okay, now to give you some small comparisons, just in this slide I'll try to give you a small comparisons, and throughout these lectures, around past 2 to 3 lectures, I'll try to give the differences. If you have observed carefully, in the between, I have tried to give the major differences between n number of memory types. Okay, so if you have made any notes, that would have been very easy for you guys, because they might ask a question wherein you would be required to differentiate between different types of memories. Okay, now let us go to the first memory, which we have already studied, which is nothing but your static RAM. Now, what is a static RAM then? You already know, we have studied all these things. The major advantage of your static RAM is what? It is very fast. But so this becomes your advantage. But what is the disadvantage? It is expensive. So this becomes your disadvantage. Okay. Now, another major thing is what now? It is very difficult for your static RAM to put in a single chip. So you can observe here, it is very difficult to put the whole thing into a single chip, which becomes its one more disadvantage. Why it is difficult? Because it has more number of cells in it. So therefore your static RAM has one advantage, major advantage. There are a number of advantages, no doubt in it, but one major advantage and a few major disadvantages. That is, advantages are more as when we compare with your disadvantages. Next, coming to dynamic RAM. Here we have a simple basic circuit, so it becomes less expensive. It becomes less expensive, therefore it is an advantage. But what is the disadvantage, friends? Since it is less expensive, it becomes slower. It becomes slower, which becomes its disadvantage, right? It becomes a disadvantage, right? Yeah, it becomes disadvantage. Fine. Now, coming to the next very important thing, that is magnetic disk. The storage capacity in DRAMs is higher than SRAMs, but it is still less than what is necessary. That means DRAMs has a higher capacity, but it is again still less than your what is the necessary requirement. Therefore, we have magnetic disks such as your n number of magnetic disks are there, like your SAGAT and all those things. Okay, they provide a very large amount of storage, but again they are slower than DRAMs. So this becomes one more disadvantage, right? But what is the thing now? Here it is giving you large amount of storage. The storage is more, so this becomes an advantage. So I hope it is clear, friends, what are the major, I will clear off the writings. What are the major things in this slide we are covering? We have slightly tried to find out the advantages, disadvantages between your static RAM, dynamic RAM and magnetic disks, which is very much important, and it has been also asked in your exams a number of times. Okay, friends. So here I will be ending my today's class. We will meet in the next lecture, wherein we will try to discuss regarding your memory hierarchy, which is very much important. Okay, thank you for listening, friends. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, you can call or WhatsApp me. Okay, thank you.